Tomorrow morning, you're going to walk up to your office building in the DIFC or Dubai Internet City. You will pull up a plastic white card out of your wallet, tap it against a black plastic reader on the wall, wait for the little green light to flash, and walk through the glass door. You think you just used a digital key to open a door. You're completely dangerously wrong. You did not just open a door, you initiated a high-velocity data handshake. You just uploaded a massive encrypted metadata packet to a centralized cloud server that will track your exact physical coordinate, your social interactions, and your biological bathroom habits for the next 9 hours. Before I break down the exact terrifying engineering architecture of the modern corporate surveillance and show you how to blind the algorithm that are secretly scoring your daily productivity, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor market using cold, hard logic. You do not want to miss these blueprints. We are no longer living in the era of the punch card. In 2026, the corporate office is a weaponized telemetry hub. Your employer is not just tracking when you arrive, they are mapping how you move, who you talk to, and using artificial intelligence to predict when you are going to quit next. Grab a notebook, it is time to stop acting like a compliant data point and start operating like an apex professional who controls their digital sovereignty. Welcome back, I'm Dr. HR. To understand why my approach to the corporate survival is aggressively different from the generic advice of what you read in HR newsletter, you must understand my underlying architecture. I hold a PhD in Human Resources, a Master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences (TISS), and a Bachelor's in Computer Engineering. I do not view the corporate office as a collaborative workspace. I view it as a panopticon, a structured environment designed for total, frictionless observation. The ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for apex corporate entities, I have seen the exact back-end dashboard the Chief Operating Officer used to monitor your physical existence. Today, we are going to reverse engineer the corporate surveillance machine. I'm going to translate the complex electrical engineering of your ID badge into cold, hard corporate reality so that every non-technical professional can understand exactly how they are being hunted. Let us deconstruct the invisible leash, the silicon sniffer, the telemetry code, and the productivity algorithm that is secretly dictating your career trajectory. Phase 1. The invisible leash. We must first dismantle the illusion of the physical plastic card hanging around your neck. For decades, an office keycard was a dumb piece of technology. It contained a magnetic strip or a basic RFID coil that simply transmitted a static employee ID number. The reader checked if the ID number 4092 had permission to open the door, clicked the open lock, and promptly went back to sleep. That system is entirely dead. The modern access card currently hanging around the necks of the employee in 2026, specifically the advanced HID and DES Fire EV3 credentials, are not dumb keys. They are highly sophisticated, cryptographically secure microcomputers. The cloud payload. When you tap your badge against the wall reader today, you are not just transmitting your employee ID. The physical act of scanning is a trigger that sends a massive metadata packet to a centralized cloud server in real time. What is in the packet? It transmits the exact millisecond of the interaction. It transmits the operational health of the door, but most importantly, it establishes an encrypted session key. It tells the building's central nervous system, Asset 4092 has breached the parameter. Initiate localized tracking protocol. You are no longer dealing with the security guard checking your ID, you are dealing with the continuous real-time data stream. The modern corporate office hardware, the scanners, the Wi-Fi routers, the smart lighting panel on the ceiling has evolved into a sophisticated telemetry hub. Telemetry is the automatic recording and transmission of data from remote sources. In this scenario, the remote source is your physical body. The moment the green light flashes on that door, the invisible leash clicks around your neck. Phase 2. Inside the silicon sniffer. To understand how you are being tracked after you walk through the door, you must physically tear down the hardware on the wall. If you take a screwdriver and pry open the standard corporate card reader, you will not just find a simple antenna for scanning badges. Hidden inside the casing, you will find secondary microchip. In engineering, we often use module like ESP32, a tiny microscopic piece of silicon that costs pennies but possesses massive surveillance capability. We call these hidden modules silicon sniffers. The Bluetooth beacon grid. You do not need an electrical engineering degree to understand this. Think of the silicon sniffer as a microscopic radar dish. Your modern ID badge or the corporate app installed on your smartphone that you use to open doors emits a constant silent Bluetooth low energy BLE signal. You do not have to tap your card against anything. Simply by walking down the hallway, the badge is screaming, I'm here, multiple times a second. The silicon sniffers hidden inside the wall readers and the ceiling tiles are listening. The dwell time metrics. Why are they listening? They are measuring a metric called dwell time. If I hook an oscilloscope, a machine that visualizes electrical signals up to the corporate network, I can see the exact encrypted handshake between your badge and the ceiling. The system is not tracking if you are in the building, it is tracking how long you remain perfectly stationary. If you stand by the coffee machine on the 14th floor, the system logs a standard beverage acquisition. If you stand there for 14 minutes talking to a colleague from the marketing department, the system logs a 14-minute dwell time anomaly. Your physical movement has been digitized. Every hallway conversation, every prolonged bathroom break, and every long lunch is translated into a raw data point sent directly to the server. Phase 3, cracking the telemetry code. How does the system know exactly where you are standing? It is not using GPS. GPS does not work well inside a 40-story concrete skyscape. The corporation uses a much more invasive technology. They use the hidden language of the office, the OSDP, Open Supervised Device Protocol, the silent heartbeat. If we deploy a custom digital sniffer to intercept the data flow through the wires of the modern office, we see something terrifying. We see the heartbeat signal. Even when you are sitting perfectly still at your desk, not scanning any doors, the system is actively pinging your location. It sends a heartbeat pulse to your badge, and your badge responds. You are being interrogated by the building thousands of times a day, and you are completely unaware of it. The triangulation matrix. The system determines your exact location using a mathematical concept called RSSI, Received Signal Strength Indicator. Imagine you are standing in a hallway. There is a badge reader at the north end of the wall, a Wi-Fi router above your head, and a small printer at the south end of the hall. All three of these devices possesses silicon sniffers. Your badge emits its silent pulse. The north reader hears it loudly. The Wi-Fi router hears it moderately. The south printer hears it faintly. The central algorithm instantly cross-references the signal strength from all three devices and execute a geometric triangulation. Within 400 milliseconds, the centralized corporate server knows your exact physical location on the floor plan down to an accuracy of 1.5 meters. There is no more hiding in an empty conference room to take a personal phone call. The building knows you are in conference room B, it knows you are pacing, and it knows you have been in there for 22 minutes. The era of unmonitored hallway has been permanently eradicated. Phase 4, the productivity algorithm exposed. Now we arrive at the most critical phase of this masterclass. Raw data is useless without interpretation. The chief financial officer does not care that your badge emitted a Bluetooth pulse at 11:14 a.m. What they care about is how that raw data telemetry is fed into the centralized corporate behavior model. The productivity scorecards dashboard. In 2026 HR ecosystem, this intercepted location data is aggregated into a live productivity score dashboard. Your manager does not need to walk to the floor to see if you are working. They open a web portal. The system takes your spatial telemetry and maps it against your expected output. The algorithm has established specific threshold for your behavior. It knows that the average lunch duration is 42 minutes. If your telemetry deviates from this mathematical baseline, the system automatically triggers a flag. If you spend 18 minutes in the hallway talking to a friend, the algorithms logs a low-end engagement flag. You will never receive an email about it. Your manager will never tell you or yell at you. But when the annual review cycle arrives and you ask for a 15% raise, the HR director will look at your dashboard. They will see a historical pattern of spatial inefficiency. they will deny your raise, citing a lack of focused execution. You will lose tens of thousands of dollars in compounding lifetime earning because you stood by the water cooler. The predictive resignation matrix. This surveillance goes far beyond punishing laziness. It is used for predictive corporate warfare. Modern HR department use machine learning to analyze your physical movement pattern to predict if you are going to resign before you even update your resume. How does the machine know you're going to quit? 1. The isolation metric. The system tracks who you stand near. If you normally spend 30 minutes a week in a close proximity to your 3 closest team members, but over the last 14 days your spatial proximity to them has dropped to 0, the system notes that you are socially withdrawing. 2. The schedule shift. If your badge-in time has historically been 8:45 a.m. but suddenly you are badging at 9:45 a.m. on Tuesday and Thursday, the system flags a deviation. 3. The conference room anomaly. If you are spending an unusual amount of time in isolated phone booths or empty meeting rooms, like taking external job interviews, the triangulation matrix captures that anomaly. The AI synthesizes the isolation metric, the schedule shift, and the spatial anomaly, generates an automated alert to the vice president. Employee 4092 has 78% of probability of submitting a resignation within 30 days. The company will instantly halt your access to sensitive intellectual property. They will subtly exclude you from long-term strategy meeting. They will begin interviewing your replacement before you have ever even received a new job offer. You have been mathematically outmaneuvered by a piece of plastic hanging around your neck. Phase 5. Reclaiming your privacy. You cannot dismantle the corporate panopticon, but you can build a shield. You must execute operational security to reclaim your digital sovereignty. The hardware defense. You must stop giving the machine free data. If your company uses continuous BLE tracking badges, you must physically baffle the telemetry. You can utilize RFID-blocking materials and signal-degrading sleeves. We have tested various Faraday case badge holders in the lab. When you are not actively scanning a door, your badge belongs inside a signal-blocking sleeve. This creates a hard physical barrier that the ceiling routers cannot penetrate. Your heartbeat signal goes dark. To the triangulation matrix, you have vanished. When you open a door, and when you need to open a door, you slide the badge out, tap it, and immediately secure it back. You control the transmission of your metadata. You dictate when the system is allowed to see you. The ethical and legal battles. We must address the legal and ethical gray areas of 2026 workplace surveillance. Corporate HR will tell you that tracking is done purely for health and safety or office space optimization. They will claim they just want to know if the AC needs to be turned up in a crowded area. This is corporate doublespeak. If the data exists, it will eventually be weaponized for performance management and cost cutting. In the UAE and globally, the legal frameworks surrounding spatial data privacy in the workplace are still highly ambiguous. The corporation owns the building, they own the network, and they own the badge. Therefore, they claim they own the telemetry. You cannot rely on the law to protect your privacy. You must rely on your own structural awareness. The call to action and the audit. You must audit your own workplace environment tomorrow. Look at the ceiling, look at the black boxes above the door. Recognize that you are walking through an invisible grid of high-frequency data collection. Stop carrying your badge to the cafeteria if you do not need it to open a door. Stop having highly sensitive career conversations in the hallway where Bluetooth grid can map your proximity to other dissenting employees. Look closely at the mechanics of the corporate machine. The era of trusting employer is dead. We have entered the era of algorithmic surveillance. The companies that hold the capitals are deploying military-grade telemetry to measure, calculate, and monetize your every physical movement. If you remain ignorant of the silicon sniffers, the triangulation matrices, and the productivity algorithms, you will be managed, manipulated, and eventually discarded by the machine. But if you understand the architecture of the invisible leash, you can control the data, you can blind the sensors, you can protect your compounding lifetime earning from being destroyed by an automated low engagement flag. Audit your environment, secure your metadata, reclaim your digital sovereignty. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I'll see you at the top.